on now. Well, more and more arrests have been taking place in the Kanpur violence probe. Well, Times now has accessed yet another CCTV visual in which rioters can be seen unleashing mayhem on the streets. You can see those on your screens now. Meanwhile, the administration in the Yogi government has decided to order bulldozer action, saying that many illegal buildings are associated with the rioters who have been identified in the case, and those buildings which are illegal and belongs to the rioters are likely to be razed.
पुलिस अपनी सर्च ऑपरेशंस कर रही है और साथ ही साथ में हम लोग सिविल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन भी ये देख रहा है कि कौन सी ऐसे एलिमेंट्स हैं जहां पर किसी प्रकार का अवैधानिक या इलीगैलिटी सामने आई है। तो दो एस्पेक्ट्स पे इलीगैलिटी हम लोगों ने भी देखी है, जो कि पेट्रोल पंप्स का एक मुद्दा नज़र आया। जो उस एरिया के आसपास स्थित पेट्रोल पंप्स थे वो इलीगली जो प्रोहिबिटेड होते ज्वलनशील पदार्थ को बॉटल्स वगैरह में बेचना, उस तरह का फुटेज हमने रिट्रीव किया और उसको पुलिस को सुपुर्द किया। वी हैव डिसाइडेड दैट वी हैव टू कम अप विद अ आयरन हैंड एंड इन एनी केस सच irregularity or illegality comes to fore, so we'll take a stringent action and as per the legal proceedings we'll take it up। जो KDA नॉर्म्स हैं उनके अनुरूप कार्रवाई करेंगे एंड जहां भी अवैधानिक रूप से बिल्डिंग्स हैं उनके डिमोलिशन की ज़रूरत पड़ेगी तो वो भी करेंगे।
Well, with that, there is some big breaking news which is coming in after unleashing mayhem on the streets. Now there is blatant and open provocation. This time around, this provocative statement coming in from Qazi Haji Abdul Quddus. In fact, he has said that the protest against the action of bulldozers on the riots, he says that if the bulldozers run on the rioters, then we are going to hit the streets. Listen in.
दूसरी चीज ये कि लोगों में ये दहशत फैलाई जा रही है कि बुलडोजर चला दिया जाएगा। इसका एक असर ये भी दिखाई पड़ा था कि कानपुर में एक मदरसे में बुलडोजर चला के दिया गया था बिना नोटिस और बिना जानकारी के। तो लोगों में दहशत बनाई जा रही बुलडोजर का, इस पर क्या कहना आपका?
देखिए, वो नवैया दूसरी थी, यहाँ की नवैया शहर की दूसरी है। अगर ये इस तरह की कोई कदम उठाए गए तो फिर सर पे कफन बांध के लोग निकल भी आएंगे मैदान में। ज़्यादा दिन इंतजार नहीं कर पाएंगे। अब ज़्यादती की इंतहा, सब्र का इंतहा हो रही है। अगर मतलब होना है तो फिर ठीक है, वो हम कानून को तो तोड़ते नहीं, ना कानून को भी तोड़ा हमने, लेकिन ये तो हमें हक है कि ठीक है भाई हम मरने के लिए निकले, आने मानो सर पे कफन बांध के निकल पड़ेंगे। फिर तो हमें यही करना, जब हमें रहने नहीं देना, हमारे बच्चों को पकड़ना, गिरफ्तार करना, जुल्म ज़्यादती करना, घर तोड़ देना, तो फिर ठीक है हम मरने के लिए तैयार है ना। अब तो हम सर पे कफन बांध के निकलने आ रहे, तोड़िए अब इसके मकान तोड़ना, अब इसके लिए तैयार है।
Well, in fact, let me go across to Mohit Bhatt, who's joining us with more details on this. There we just heard, after the incitement, after the violence, now it's open provocation and incitement. The Qazi coming out and saying that if you dare touch our boys, kafan bandh ke nikal aayenge. It's as blatant as can be.
Well, yes, you see, and what we expect from all these religious leaders as of now is to appeal for peace, appeal to all these youth that not to indulge in stone pelting or arson or violence, and they should come out and condemn what has happened in Kanpur. But instead of that, organizations like PFI are justifying the act that has happened, and they are also attacking the government, saying that the government is doing the state act of terrorism if they are trying to bulldoze the illegal properties of all the accused, from where and the buildings from where the stones were being pelted. Now a Qazi, a religious leader, has come up and he has said that if bulldozer action is being taken against all these accused, then hum sar pe kafan bandh lenge, hame koi dar nahi hai. So you see the blatant provocation coming in from these kind of people, because these are the people who make sure that all these young minds who are involved in the acts of violence, they come out and they participate in these kind of acts. Because if you try to justify what has happened, this is something which should not be done. Instead, we expect all these religious leaders to come out and say what has happened is wrong, and whatever the due course of action will be taken by the Kanpur police, that all will be supported by everybody. But now the Kanpur police and the administration, while speaking to Times Now, said that the illegal buildings from where the stones were being pelted, they will be razed down. Bulldozer action can take place. We see all these reactions coming in. And remember what the administration has said, that illegal buildings, not the buildings which are legal, not the homes which are legal. So if there is an illegal building, if bulldozer action is being taken, and if those buildings are being used for stone, what is wrong in that? Now PFI has come out earlier in a day with a statement when they said that this is state act of terrorism, bulldozer should not be used. So what exactly all these Maulanas, all these clerics and all these organizations like PFI want? That all these accused whose pictures have been released by the Kanpur police, they should be let off, no action should be taken. And what should we say? That because they indulge in the arson, they indulge in stone pelting, let's not take any action. Is this what they want? A message has to go out that if you destroy public property, if you indulge in stone pelting, if you throw stones on police, then an action, a strict action would be taken. Because earlier also we have seen the calls for protests have been given, and protest in our country is a democratic right, but that protest should not go out of the hand. Violence is not the resort. The protesters should not resort to violence. They should
well, in fact, do stay on with us. Do stay on with us. Atul Anjan is joining us off the left. Mr. Anjan, how would you like to react to at a time when you hope that every side is going to come out and appeal for peace and for calmer temples? You have yet another instigation. Kafan बांध के आ जाएंगे सड़कों पे.
इस देश के अंदर जो कुछ भी हो रहे हैं, वो अगर कोई क्राइम करता है, if somebody is committing crime,
yes,
one should not take an arbitrary decision. There is
absolutely
a law. We are a law-abiding, country.
Absolutely.
And there is a law, there is a court. Whatever somebody has to do, administration has to do, they should approach the court.
So, Mr. Anjan, you are saying that this man should not be making insightful comments? Then you will say that go to the court, don't incite youth to come to the streets. Go to the court, because you said you believe in the law and the courts.
No, there is an incitement comment. You register a case against them, and let the law should take its own course of action.
Law is taking its own course of action. I asked you about this incitement. Would you back it or would you condemn it?
Incite somebody. What happened in the Kanpur case? She incited. What happened to her?
She's been now punished. There are FIRs against her, as I'm sure you well know, and she has been suspended.
She has been just dismissed from the party. What legal action has been taken against her?
I know it suits you to try and deflect. I asked you a simple question. A man who comes out and says that you touch our boys, hum kafan बांध के सड़कों पे निकल आएंगे, will you back it? Will you condemn it?
Take law in your hands, okay? If somebody is there, register a case against them. There is a
so
court,
you think this man should be booked?
They will punish.
That the Qazi should be booked? You feel he should be booked?
No, you
said no to that.
You just have a record. You just heard
it. It's on record, sir. Mr. Atul Anjan, we just played out the soundbite. There's no denying it.
You just file a case against him.
He should be booked. You agree that he should be booked?
Arbitrarily, nobody. You
agree, Mr. Atul Anjan, that a man who makes insightful comments should be booked?
No. Tomorrow you are not making
You're saying yes and then you said no. You contradict yourself, sir.
Attack Times Now. No, tomorrow the Parshnath temple will be destroyed. Then what you will do?
Atul Anjan, if you talk about incitement, a straight question
if somebody incites,
someone says kafan बांध के निकल आएंगे, and I'm asking you this question for the third time. I'm giving you the time and the space on national media. Third time I'll ask you the same question, Mr. Atul Anjan. Do you stand by it? Do you condemn it?
No.
Kafan बांध के निकल आएंगे. What does that mean? Does it not mean we are ready to kill and get killed?
Temple, there is a
do you stand by it? Where are you going for Mandir, Masjid? Nupur Sharma, you have tried to deflect. Let's cut across the rhetoric, Mr. Atul Anjan. We request you to do that. Mr. Anjan, you said you believe in courts, you believe in democracy. I asked you a simple question.
Yes, I believe in court. I believe in democracy.
Do you think this incitement should happen in a democracy?
Register
in a land of law?
Police should file a charge sheet, let the court should decide.
So you think the man should be booked? Let's say that.
Yeah, no. I say.
You said yes, and then you're saying no. I fail to understand.
File a charge
you
sheet.
say you believe in courts. You say you believe in democracy, but you don't want this man to be booked.
Against him, file a charge sheet. Let the law should take. The court should take an action.
court should take their action, and maybe this man is going to be booked. Hopefully, Mr. Atul Anjan, you're going to be backing that bit at least.
No, you are backing many things. You are backing the government to destroy everything.
We didn't even speak about the government. Mr. Atul Anjan.
You are backing.
Mr. Atul Anjan, I request you. I humbly request you, please hold your temper. We haven't discussed the government. I don't know where these wild allegations are coming from. I asked you a simple question. You don't seem to have an answer to that. Let me go across to Ratan Sharda. Mr. Atul Anjan, stay with us. Ratan Sharda is also joining us, an author. How would you like to respond to what Mr. Atul Anjan has said, Mr. Sharda?
I do not know why Mr. Atul Anjan, a senior person, should be throwing epileptic fits at some question you asked him. Question is simple. Can people take law into their own hands? Do they have option to go to the courts? They have. But there are people reaching for civil war on the roads of India. And of course, Communist Party would be, agitated if such people are captured or their houses demolished, because Communist Party live by the same principles of violence in Bengal, in Kerala. So for them, it's very normal to keep on changing their stance and saying all this. Simple thing is hate-filled people who think that Constitution is only to be used as and when they require, and they can go right on the streets and take any action on the state government.
Let me put that across. That's an important point you've made, Ratan Sharda. Stay with us. Atul Anjan, communist parties, as per Ratan Sharda, believe in selective justice. Justice only against those you feel should be punished and not against those against who may have committed crimes.
Not arrested her. Why you have not registered a case and arrested her? What prevents you?
Again, you're trying to deflect, but let me tell you, there are FIRs against Nupur Sharma, if that's the person. I'm talking about the rioters on our screens. We have 40 of them. Faces are out. There are cases against them. There are CCTV footages of them having destroyed. Then you have this Mr. Qazi who's come out and said, "Kafan band ke hum raaste pe nikal aayenge if you touch any of these people." I ask you, and I'll ask you for the 4th time again, do you accept provocation like this, or will you come out on national television and condemn it?
No, what condemning? What condemning? I am condemning it. But that is not there.
Okay.
Condemning, take the legal action and put them behind bar.
Ratan Sharda, they are alleging, the left at least has been, I believe we've lost that audio connection with Mr. Ratan Sharda. However, thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Atul Anjan. Let's listen in once again to what exactly it is that Qazi Haji Abdul Quddus had to say, the incitement which came after the violence.
कि बुलडोजर चला दिया जाएगा, इसका एक असर ये भी दिखाई पड़ा था कि कानपुर में एक मदरसे में बुलडोजर चला के दिया गया था बिना नोटिस और बिना जानकारी के। तो लोगों में दहशत बनाई जा रही बुलडोजर का, इस पर क्या कहना आपका?
देखिए, वो नवैया दूसरी थी, यहाँ की नवैया शहर की दूसरी है। अगर इस तरह की कोई कदम उठाए गए तो फिर सर पे कफन बांध के लोग निकल भी आएंगे मैदान में। ज़्यादा दिन इंतजार नहीं कर पाएंगे। अब ज़्यादती की इंतहा, सब्र का इंतहा हो रही है। अगर मतलब होना है तो फिर ठीक है, वो हम कानून को तो तोड़ते नहीं ना, कानून को भी तोड़ा हमने, लेकिन ये तो हमें हक है कि ठीक है भाई, हम मरने के लिए निकले आ रहे, मारो सर पे कफन बांध के निकल पड़ेंगे। फिर तो मैं यही करना, जब हमें रहने नहीं देना, हमारे बच्चों को पकड़ना, गिरफ्तार करना, जुल्म ज़्यादती करना, घर तोड़ देना, तो फिर ठीक है, हम मरने के लिए तैयार है ना। हम तो हम सर पे कफन बांध के निकलने आ रहे, तोड़िए अब इसके मकान तोड़ना, अब इसके लिए तैयार है।
भाई साहब, लगातार
Mohit Bhatt, who's joining us. Mohit, of course, we've had a very heated political argument over it. The left says that stop victimizing some people. There are others who are saying that this kind of provocation is unacceptable. However, has any case been registered against this Qazi and others who've been making insightful statements?
Well, as of now, we do not know about the police action in this particular case, because this bite from the Qazi has just come now, so it's upon the police whether they find it deemed to be fit for a case or not. But then the question, Meghna, that we have been asking is that why exactly people are coming out in support of these rioters? Now, this Qazi comes out and say that you are taking action against our children, you are sending them behind the bars. But what these people have done, these people have pelted stones on the police. They have bought petrol from the petrol pumps in bottles and they have used it during the violence. A call for a protest was being given. Yes, the protest was allowed, but protest and violent. Now, if you do not take any action in such cases, then what example are you setting? That you do anything, you stone pelt, you indulge in arson, you indulge in violence, and then the government will not take any action because there is a certain ecosystem, there is a certain lobby that is coming out in support of you. So these kind of elements, these kind of writers should not be encouraged by anybody, and it's not about any religion, any caste or creed. Police have released the pictures, their names have not been released.
Right, sorry to interrupt you there. Congress's Rashid Alvi is with us on the phone line, so thank you so much for speaking with us. How do you respond to this kind of provocation? Do you condemn it?
Yeah, it is very unfortunate, and what I am told about the statement given by district magistrate, it is not his statement. It is the statement of UP government. It is the statement of chief minister. How can you demolish houses of anybody? Poor people are there. This is the country.
If they are illegal buildings, sir, and if they are being used for illegal activities they are involved in crimes, they are used to pelt stones to injure people with an intention to injure people, then why not? It is the state's prerogative to how they want to control the crime, isn't it?
UP government is absolutely untrustworthy. I have seen videos where in presence of police, people are throwing stones. Any action has been taken against them? And two spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, whether any legal action has been taken against them?
Yes, there are FIRs, sir. The law is taking its course.
No, what action has been taken?
The party has dismissed her. There are FIRs filed against her in multiple parts of the country, and law is taking its course. Are you now saying that you do not have faith in the law enforcement agencies and in the judiciary, even in Congress-ruled states, because there's an FIR against her in Maharashtra as well?
You want my reaction, or you want to give your own reaction?
No, I'm asking you, sir. You're saying that there are no...
Let me complete it.
Sure, go ahead.
Don't disturb me. Why are you intervening me?
Because we're not talking about Nupur Sharma, sir. You asked there is no action being taken against her. So I told you that there is one in a state that is run by your party in alliance with several other parties. So let's talk about this particular provocation that has come to the fore, or the PFI. Why not talk about those provocations?
It is whether BJP government, any government has taken any legal action against them. Entire world is shouting. You do not know that what happening in the whole of world only because of the statements given by both of them. Law is silent, Prime Minister is silent, and actions is being taken against those poor people. Can you prove that in Delhi all buildings are legal buildings? 80% of the houses in Uttar Pradesh are illegal. Demolish all of them. Why only those houses in Kanpur? This is whether if there is any illegal building, notices should be given to them, not only about the owner to the owners of those houses, all over the UP. In every village of Uttar Pradesh, 99% houses are illegal. Take your bulldozer, demolish all the houses. You are in government. You are elected by the people. You are not dictators. You are behaving like dictators. It is very unfortunate. Still now, you are unable to learn a lesson. All Muslim countries are shouting. Ambassadors are being summoned. And you are unable to change your behavior. It is very unfortunate. I strongly condemn this statement of district magistrate.
And that is your right democratically to do so, Rashid Alvi. But I just want to ask you, do you also, in those same strongest words as you are using for the Yogi administration, will you also condemn this particular person who's come out and provoked, saying hum kafan bandh ke raaste pe niklenge, or the Popular Front of India, who has called this an act of terrorism?
I strongly condemn if anybody violates the law, whether one is Hindu or Muslim or Sikh or anybody else. There is rule of law, but rule of law should be for everybody, not for a particular community. We have seen from our own eyes that what kind of statements were being given by यूपी मुख्यमंत्री ड्यूरिंग इलेक्शन, बुलडोजर तैयार है, आई एम वेटिंग फॉर द 10th of the month.
Right.
मैं गर्मी निकाल दूंगा. How can you trust a government like this?
But somehow those comments seem to have resonated with the sentiments of the people as well, because that is exactly how they got voted back into power with the majority they did. But thank you so much for joining us with your perspective here, Rashid Alvi. The Congress there also going on to say that the action is selective. It is really the state administration that needs to come out and answer, and not really those provocators. Mohit, the BJP would say that this is only giving a handle to these kind of elements who are trying to fish in what they think are troubled waters.
And not just the BJP, you see, if we talk about the statement that have been coming in from the Popular Front of India, or the latest one by this particular Muslim cleric. Now, what they want to show that they come out and they say that why action has been taken against their children, why they are being booked because they have something, they have done something wrong. And yes, when Mr. Rashid Alvi was talking about Nupur Sharma, yes, Nupur Sharma has been suspended from her party. Cases throughout the country have been registered against her, and today itself, Arunil, our Mumbai colleague, put out that she has been summoned by the court. The court proceedings are taking place.
Absolutely,
but
and surprisingly, it's happening in a state that is run by the Congress, but they seem to be turning a blind eye to that, only asking questions about her and not talking about the other provocations that are coming to the fore. Is that selective outrage? Some would say that is. But let's listen into this latest provocation that has come to the fore from this cleric.
ज्यादती की इंतहा, सब्र की इंतहा हो रही है. अगर मतलब होना है तो फिर ठीक है, वो हम कानून को तो तोड़ते नहीं ना, कानून को भी तोड़ा हमने, लेकिन ये तो हमें हक है कि ठीक है भाई, हम मरने के लिए निकले आ रहे मानो, सब में कफन बांध के निकल पड़ेंगे. फिर तुम्हें यही करना है, जब हमें रहने नहीं देना, हमारे बच्चों को पकड़ना, गिरफ्तार करना, जुल्म ज्यादती करना, घर तोड़ देना, तो ठीक है, हम मरने के लिए तैयार है ना. हम तो हम सब में कफन बांध के निकलने आ रहे, तोड़िए आप इसके मकान तोड़ना, अब इसके लिए तैयार है.